Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show. This is the tech show today, where we prove that so-called African Americans didn't find their way to America locked in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the indigenous one. And today, ladies and gentlemen, he's back. We're here on Tech Search with the Spaceman. And Spaceman...
Well, hello, everybody, and thank you very much, and I appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to all of the people that thought enough of me to just that uh app. What is that app? Cash app. Yeah, the Spaceman 7777. Hey, I was really overwhelmed and humbled by the fact that people thought enough to send me. Every little bit helps, but at the same time, they did think enough to send me something, even if it was just 5 or 10 or $7 here and there. Hey, that makes it possible for me to keep on being inspired to do the things I'm doing. But anyway, we'll start it off with. I'm thinking that we got fear right here on the table, and I say it's a lack of faith. Now, if it's a lack of faith, faith and fear don't mix. So you can't put those two together. Oil and water will not mix. So that's the same difference we got with faith and fear for its mixing. They don't run neck and neck. Now, people got it in their mind that they're saving something or they're saving somebody by this mass business restricting carbon monoxide that you're designed to breathe out. And God designed it like that so the plants could exchange it to oxygen before you take the next breath in. When you restrict the carbon monoxide that's supposed to come out, then collectively you're breathing back in the carbon monoxide, which is CO2 poison, back in there, which breaking down your immune system that cannot be rebuilt with exercise and good eating good food. Now, if that's not the case, why are all these people falling out in these different jobs, places like Walmart and places where they demand the people to wear that rag over their face? They not realizing that why they all got the same thing in common called asphyxiation. Asphyxiation is still CO2 poison because back in the day they put a pillow over somebody's head in 7 minutes. They dead because they dead from breathing their own carbon monoxide back in. I'm just saying that a doctor told me that, and I feel like that if you think that I'm just making this up, confirm that with any doctor and see if the masks have any saving power in it, and are they saving anything. You break down your immune system to a certain level, you'll get a virus from a fly, a mosquito, anything then, because you ain't got no immune system to fight it off.
Spaceman, why? I hear what you're saying, and you're right. You're right. For us to restrict our breathing, in any kind of way, shows us. But it seems that we just not getting it. We're on that. They got brothers wearing masks like they would be wearing it out of space. You got people getting in the swimming pool. Really, wearing a mask. I see people jogging with a mask on.
They don't realize that we got the same. The car that's breathing out carbon monoxide out of the exhaust pipe, we got the same thing in common. The car breathes out carbon monoxide. When you restrict that carbon monoxide, they got catalytic converters. When the catalytic converter gets stopped up, it restricts that carbon monoxide. And what happened? Your car died. So I'm just saying, your car cannot run if you simply put a banana peel up the tailpipe. Back in the day, they would put a banana peel up somebody's tailpipe. They couldn't get the car started because the car could not breathe oxygen. Now we, in the car we build, has got that much in common. We have to breathe oxygen. We do breathe out carbon monoxide. The car breathes out carbon monoxide. If the car can't run without oxygen, how you expect yourself to keep running? Just you do the math.
So, Spaceman, so what would you say, just from your experience and, working with, nature and whatnot, what would you say not wearing a mask? Okay, you don't have on a mask, and I come up and slip a mask on you. What percentage of the oxygen do you think is the body not getting?
Well, what you're doing, you're restricting the carbon monoxide that you're supposed to be breathing out. Number one, trapped in this rag. And when you breathe back in, naturally what's on this side of the rag is going back in.
Oh,
Collectively, it will get to a point it's breaking down your immune system. It will create asphyxiation. People with asthma can't wear that mask for no long period of time without passing out. How come they don't do the math and figure it out? What is this mask really saving? Is it saving anything there, or is it a means of them making money selling masks? Because I understand certain companies done stop doing what they producing and then start producing masks and sanitizer. Now wait a minute, something wrong with that picture.
you're right.
Something very wrong with that picture. So maybe this is a test of faith, and you losing the test. You failing the test really. But failure is just like any other habit to me. You got to have the will to break it. You learn what to want in this world, then select from that what you want. I mean, hearsay, you got people all in fear, and I feel bad for elderly people. Their immune system ain't up as strong as it was no way, and here they walk around with a mask on all day long thinking that they are saving themselves. They done forgot the power that created the world, promised to save them, never to leave them nor forsake. They done forgot that. They got in their mind that this mass now has got the saving power, not the power that God had when he spoke this into existence. I don't know, that part escapes me. I mean, I didn't get this ugly since yesterday. But
Well,
I feel like faith the size of a mustard seed will move mountains, you know. And that comes to mind. I always keep a sample of something when I'm telling you something. I got this bad habit of show and tell. And I figured that this you might get a kick from this. Let me see if I can arrange for you to get a little sample of what a little faith can bring. Let's see if I can.
okay.
Oh, here I am right here. Okay. I don't know if y'all see me or not,
Okay.
but
See,
if you don't see me, let's see if you can see if you can see a little light come out of here, and see if it get brighter and brighter. Let's see. Here we go. This is light. See,
okay.
that's light. Now you know the old saying, wherever there's light, there's energy, right? This is just a Walmart flashlight that's got that light. Oh, you need a battery, right?
Let me ask
Let
you. Let me ask you a question before you go on.
Okay.
You ever heard of this song called "Flashlight" by Parliament Funkadelic?
Uh, no, I didn't.
Okay, it's just funny. The song is talking about what you're talking about, and I was just
Oh,
it was in your genre. It was a real big hit in your genre, but
oh,
you was probably putting some wings on something. I don't know, but go ahead.
hey, how cool is that? Now, see, it's all in line with the truth. See, that's what I'm here to bring light to the truth. And when I say light, I'm bringing understanding to the truth in the words of my Father in heaven. So the first thing he called up was light. See, now common sense would tell you, say, well, if he called up light and he done promised that he gonna supply my every need, why wouldn't he supply me with light if I asked him for it? He ain't gonna not do what he said he would do. That's why, for years I didn't have an electric bill, but I had the city and everybody picking at me saying it was bootleg power and this that, and that. And I told them to take the jar off the house, cut their wires down. Then they come in and said we gonna condemn the house cause it ain't got. What do you mean condemn? I'm living in it, but it's just the idea that I get to a point sometime I just want to ask the world, look, excuse me for living. You stop the world, I get off. But I know they can't stop the world. But then they got this problem about not believing what I say. I don't wonder why they don't believe it. But look, if you don't believe I'm who I said I am, prove I ain't who I said I am then. Find another man that can talk to any vehicle and it obey his will and do what he tell it to do. Or find one that can take a little soil from the earth, wrap it in aluminum foil. Let me show you what's running this light here so we can get down to the faith the size of a mustard seed. You probably get a kick from this. Let me see if I can get this out of here. You see, this is a light. I'm
Yeah.
finna take this. It's supposed to be a battery in there. Let me see what's in there. Let's just see. Whoops. That ain't no. That don't look like no battery, do it? Let's see. Where's my camera? See,
You
this
right
is aluminum foil,
there. You
paper, and pencil lead.
so,
Huh?
what is it? Say it again.
Aluminum foil, paper, and pencil lead. Now, aluminum foil automatically attracts molecules in. You know that, right? Then
That
the paper is to keep the aluminum foil from actually touching the graphite. You call it pencil lead, it's graphite. Man don't make graphite either. He mine it. He get it out of a coal mine, and God put it there like that. Paper come from trees. Man don't make trees. He just cut them down. And aluminum foil, it comes out of the earth. Man don't make it. He make it into foil. But this mineral, aluminum, is a mineral that God already put in place. Now, how cool could that be that you got these things called batteries running all of you think you got to have this poison acid or whatever you got in there that if you throw it in the fire, it's gonna blow up in your face or whatever it is. Hey, I can take a cigarette lighter and I can't set this on fire. You know what I'm saying? But I can take it and put it back into this flashlight like that, and it's really I'd be disappointed if it didn't work. Now this been working for months, and I feel that this is something that you would get a kick out of because it's something that can give you hands-on experience with actually seeing how energy collectively can be attracted out of the air. You don't make energy. Energy and electricity ain't something you make or just you discover that electricity is, wait a minute, electricity is molecules in motion. I mean, how cool is that? Molecules in motion. So that's why I'm breaking it down to the molecular structure. When I say molecular, I'm saying molecule structure so you can understand the basic theory, the seed of where everything started. So when you start in the roots of something, then the tree can grow up from the roots. So the roots is to know the basic theory, molecules is all around you. You live off of that. And molecules in motion is electricity. That's why DC, they call it DC. Aluminum foil bring the molecules in. The graphite push it out. And the molecules come back in because it's attracted to the aluminum. The paper's in between there, else they would fight. Now you got directional current. You can't see with your eyes, but you remember you said, how can we see it? No, you can't see it, but you see the effects of it. Wind, you can't see air, but you see trees waving, there's some air present. Hey, you see me walking around here, then you see the effects of the power of God working. That's me. So, hey, long as you can believe, you ain't gotta believe face down. Go prove and make yourself a prove workman yourself. Look up what I said, prove me wrong, and I will shut up.
Hey man,
Gladly shut up.
listen, I ain't trying to prove you wrong, man. I want to get behind the car and push. I want to learn. Seriously.
Well, speaking of cars, hey, I'm thinking of designing what I call a hover car, and if I'm blessed in the way that I think I'll be blessed, that people like you out there that know that I ain't just saying something. I ain't just trying to make up something to get your attention, because I can personally make it available where he can give you hands on a sample of a way that you can take and put two aluminum foil or something together and put it in a light. We even might send you a light. And that way we can get this thing rolling where people can get hands on, so they might come up with something even better. That's why I come up with the idea of text search. We need that. I know I ain't the only spaceman out here, but everybody recognize me as the spaceman. But I'm not the only one. I bet there's some more out there just like me. And I ain't talking about no black people, no white people, no tall people, no, hey, I'm talking about people. We in the world with people, and we all got to live together as people. So why should I come in here and dislike one kind of person when everything here is a decision that God made, who created this whole world? I mean, that's just common sense. Oh, I didn't mean to talk your ears off, sir. I didn't mean to take over. But you tell me just whatever I can do to attribute to this. That's what we're gonna do. Just
Okay,
simple as that.
well, check this out. Let me get to the chat because got a couple of questions in there, and this is from Laray. I am not figuring on the carbon monoxide and the dioxide. Could you explain the difference between the two, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide?
Oh, wait a minute now. I'm not a scientist. What are you saying? Dioxide and carbon monoxide?
Yeah, what's the difference between the two?
Well, they both will kill you. I mean, for as I'm concerned, you breathe out carbon monoxide because you ain't supposed to keep it in there.
Now,
Now,
now, do we breathe out carbon monoxide or do we breathe out carbon dioxide? Because
you breathe
you know
you,
that
you breathe out carbon monoxide because carbon monoxide creates asphyxiation is CO2 poison. That's what really kill you. You put a pillow over a person's face, they own carbon monoxide, dioxide, or whatever you want to call it, is what kill them. The common sense is whatever it is, if it's dioxide, B oxide, A oxide, or whatever, that the principle is the plant life is supposed to change it to oxygen before it go back in. So I don't care if you call it L oxide, A oxide, B oxide, or C,
I hear you.
D. Hey,
I hear.
I
I hear.
don't. I'm not a scientist. I don't care what it is, but whatever it is, it's supposed to be changed to oxygen before it go back into you. Now that's just common sense.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Lorraine, I don't know what carbon dioxide. I'm like him. I'm not a scientist. I'm not vested in that. But like he says, it'll kill you. You know. And
I know what dying is. I know what that is. I know what dying. I know what suffocation is.
okay.
If you
So
know that,
okay.
you
So
make a
earlier
choice to either keep it or leave it.
Okay, so earlier on, you were talking about the mask because I want to kind of get a feel for what when you say molecules, what is molecules? Okay, so I know we can't see them like we can't see air, and I know they're the building blocks of everything that's built, but we
Well,
can't. Oh,
molecules are all around you in this air, in this world you're in. You are surrounded by molecules.
okay,
Now, a lot of people don't believe in levitation. Levitation is real, but those people had something that we don't use no more. Is the power of your brain as you think in your heart you can do. They could take a magic carpet, they call it a magic carpet, and they travel on magic carpet. I've seen magicians that they say levitation, yeah, they develop a skill that actually your mind calls you to levitate. See, levitation is just arranging the molecules into a mass that you are standing on. It look like you flying. It look like you, but you are really on a molecule mass. And this hover car is gonna prove that point, because I'll be able to travel with the tires on the ground, or I can travel at 2 feet or 100 feet and travel anywhere I want to go, because I'll be riding on a molecule invisible highway that you can't see with your eyes. Because you gotta see it before you believe it. I'm sorry about that, but you didn't see no circle going around this aluminum foil, but you did see the light, right?
Right.
You ain't gonna see everything, but you gonna experience it if you ain't careful, and if you don't get down to the molecular structure of things. That's same thing that you try to say you don't see. You gonna feel it, and it ain't gonna be too cool then. It'll be too late. Your name be Lou. You be through. But anyway,
Okay, so let me ask you this. I know we can't see molecules, and like you said, other we you know we really are not in the development of our minds. To just how you just showed us that battery.
well, that wasn't a battery. See, that's why
Oh,
I'm saying again.
okay,
Battery is something that I don't use, because battery is like the word misery. It's battery. It's bad for your health, bad for the ozone. It's bad if it get into your water supply. It's battery. So they tell you the truth. You just listen to it and keep on using the same battery. Hey, that's all right too if that's what you want to do. Fire will burn you, but fire will be an advantage to you if you want to cook your food. But you don't stick your hand in there, because it will give you third-degree burns and it's gonna kill you.
right.
You know. So just cause you don't see something, you gonna feel it if you keep rolling your hand toward the fire. Just cause you don't think it'll burn and you put it in there, you'll find out. You'll feel it.
Okay, so here's my question. I know we can't see the molecules, but remember when you were talking about when you have the mask over your face and you're breathing out and you're breathing in? When you breathing back in, when you have that mask on, there is a change. And I don't know, the air is not coming in. You're breathing something.
But
It's like it's
you're
more.
breathing the carbon, you're breathing the carbon dioxide, B oxide, C oxide, whatever people call it. It's CO2 poison, is what the doctors would tell you it is. It's asphyxiation, is what the doctors would tell you is. If you don't want to take the doctor's word for it, then why you go to the hospital when you think you're sick? Go somewhere else. I'm thinking that if you want to find out what make a tire roll, see the treads on the tire, and you'll see if this tire gonna roll very far. If you got a slick tire, yeah, you gonna get a flat. It ain't might not have it now, but you gonna have a flat. So if you got your mind in a slick area where you don't have no grip, yes, you gonna slip. So that's just plain common sense. And I didn't get this ugly since yesterday, and this sun is getting right in my eye now. But anyway, um, I just wanted to make that point clear that uh, a lot of the stuff you might think I'm making it up, but I didn't read up on it, because I unfortunately can't read like you and I. Y'all can read and everything, but I was instructed not to read no books written by man, no book, not even the Bible. So how do you think I would know what I know without reading? Unless there's a power bigger than what you can see. Now you're talking about what you see. You don't see that power that sent me either, do you? But you see me walking around here telling you the truth, and you can't not find any fault in it yet. Not yet, but I'm sure y'all looking for it. But keep looking. You know what I'm saying? Keep looking. But
That makes my
I
his
guarantee you,
yeah,
when you get through looking, look in the mirror, you'll find out where the fault really is. It's
right,
in you, you
right.
know. But no, just cause you don't see God, you see a guy that say he's a son of God walking around here that can talk to a car and make it do what he tells it to do, take soil from the earth and wrap it around a pencil lead and a paper, a drinking straw, and turn it on. This same guy can take a lift and tell it to raise something up, and it's just a winch, and you don't see no battery stuck up there like a car battery to make the winch roll. I mean, somebody ought to wake up and smell the coffee. I forgot to tell you what runs my lawnmower and can run my car too. Let's see if I got one in my pocket.
Hold up. You run a lawnmower on something you carry in your pocket.
Oh yeah, it's just aluminum foil. It's not big as. Let me see, where is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Now, you wouldn't think that this aluminum foil would have enough power to run anything, would you? But
I,
this is what runs my lawnmower every time I get ready to turn it on, and it will run my car. And actually, if your car didn't run, I took the battery out of it, I could start your car up with this right here. This is aluminum foil. I don't know if you can see. I can't get it named up there right, but you get the idea. It ain't much bigger than a credit card. But I'm just saying, faith the size of a mustard seed will move mountains. And it ain't about magic. And whether you believe it or not ain't gonna change the truth that I just told you. It don't
so
make no difference to me if you believe it or not. I don't care. But
so
I can show you quick as I can tell you what I'm telling you. I can show you.
it's just all in our mind because we don't believe it.
It's all in your mind. It's all about faith. And it goes back to, as you think in your heart, so are you. If you think you're stupid, so are you. If you think you can't do something, you can't do it. You know, you condemn yourself when you say you can't do something.
Right.
I'm the one should say I can't do nothing because I can't read or write like y'all. Hey, my mother told me if you didn't get your education, you ain't gonna never have a job. I said, I got a job. I said, I was sent here to teach good tidings to the meek, because the meek shall inherit the earth, not the know it all. You know what I'm saying? Me having a job working for somebody at the world in the world, that makes about much sense as putting a milk bucket under a bull. I just don't quite get it, you know. And I had a gentleman on the corner one day, and I ain't gonna call his name. He was referring to the colored folks you call white as devils. I said, wait a minute, sir. You mean God put devils in the world over us? Yeah, said the, the white man is the devil and all this. I said, well, wait a minute, look, you, I can't go along with that because we are all people in this world now. Why should I get in here and dislike a set of people? I said, but you got a nice looking car there, sir. He said, yeah. I said, oh man, I bet that costs quite a bit. Oh yeah. I said, well, you got to have a good job. Yeah, I work for. He told me where he worked. I ain't gonna call no names, but he told me where he worked, and he told me he had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get his coffee and stuff before he get to work. And he had to get there at 7, because if he get a little after 7, they're gonna dock him for a certain amount of time. He ain't gonna get paid for. So he got there every day, and he got this car. And I just decided, since I saw a lot of young people out there in the crowd listening to him saying that the colored folks was the devil, I had to straighten it out. My spirit told me to straighten it out. So what I did in a nice way, said, well, let me get this right. You went to the, you got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get to the devil's job so you could get some of the devil's money to buy the devil's car that came from the devil's car dealership. And he got it from the devil's car factory that you got a lot of you black people working in, and they got to come outside the factory and go to the devil's bank to borrow some money to buy the car they just bought. Oh, something wrong with that picture there, sir. And he, after a while, the people listening to me, we was talking over about my car. He come over and apologized, and he said, "Man, I didn't ever look at it that way." He said, "My uncles and my forefathers told me when we was growing up that the white man was the devil," and he just went on and on. And he said, "Man, I hadn't thought of it the way you thought of it." I said, "Well, that's why I came back there." And a lot of people know me as Spaceman. They never saw me in a space suit or spaceship, but yet and still, they respect my decisions and my knowledge. And he said, "Well, I'm one of them too now." He said, "I'm apologize." He said, "Cause I ain't never looked at it like that, but you are so right." And he went on and shake my hand, and we sit there and talk for a while. What if I'd just let him talk to that young generation and get it in their mind that the limb that they sitting on between them and the tree, they supposed to saw it off. That's what he telling them. This is what you sitting on, saw this off. The tree, the devil, saw it off. See where you're going. Now, anyway, I didn't mean to get into that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get off track. We got to get to the tech search thing
Okay,
and
so
all
you
that.
just showed us
Uh,
how to make a battery out of a pencil lead, aluminum foil, and paper. You
It's
also
not a battery. It's a power plant. I don't call it well, you can call it a basic battery. Yeah. Because the
no,
only
no, no,
battery they be making in class is,
because I
hey,
watched.
potatoes and lemons, huh? How many potatoes can you put in a flashlight? You got to have 9 of them to get that light to shine. And you got to cut the class light out to see that. How many potatoes can you put in a flashlight that size? See, I just took that flashlight out of my pocket.
Right.
I can't get the potato in there, let alone the flashlight if I did. I sure couldn't put 9 of them in my pocket. Common sense. It's
Explain.
common sense.
Explain. We all grew up hearing of stories of the Wright brothers flying an airplane at Kitty Hawk in North Carolina. Explain them. Who were they?
Well, I built a flying machine, an airplane out of one of my daughter's go karts when she was 9 years old. And there's a video on YouTube, Spaceman Flying Machine 2. You'll see me take off into this with this ultralight plane that I made from bar material that the guys that flew, they crashed too hard. They didn't use that. They threw it away. So I used those pieces that they didn't want and built me a flying machine. You'll see me take off in this flying machine that I made there. So they would call me the wrong brother then, cause the right brother, he flew something that they didn't believe would fly. So here I took stuff that they was throwing away, and I made something that I fly. So who am I? The wrong brother? That was the right brother. And I'm the wrong brother, right? I did fly, and I love flying, and I'm gonna build a new flying machine just in the very near future. Hey, I get my inspiration. I work harder on something somebody said can't be done than something that's just simple. Oh yeah, that ought to be done because you can do it this way. That's just me. I get my inspiration when I dream up something. I get up and go do it, and it works. Now, how cool could that be? I had a stranger give me a car because my car had got so bad there, and he made it available for me to have this car here that I'm sitting in. Got nice air conditioning, everything. My air conditioner didn't get cold. I was all where I'm at for the coolness come out of the vent, and I have my hand over the vent trying to fool myself like I'm getting cool. Um, but that's just an example of how God, who you can't see unless you look at me, and see how the favor of God worked through me, that's the only way you can see God. So he said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." He didn't say they might see God. When you see God, you see good. Now, what is good? God. Take one of those out of the word good. That's God. Everything good is God. Everything God is good. Oh, I didn't mean to talk your ears off. Here I go again. No, what was your question? You got? Yeah, I'm sorry. I get off
How
on this thing.
how important is it for us to pay attention to nature? Because you were saying all the materials that you had to make the little power plant, all of that came from nature. How important for us is it for us to pay attention to nature?
Nature will be a good uh, guideline for you to go by, a good example that things that's set in place by a power bigger than you that you can't see do work. I mean, I see miracles all the time in nature. Like I said about that lightning bug, you go observe a lightning bug, you'll see if you find out where he's sitting at and wake him up in the daytime, he'll fly into everything because he cannot see. Light is too bright for him to see in the daytime. Now, why would he have a flashing light? Hey, that's a decision God made to get our attention. That's what that is. Attention getter, that flashing light. So I'm watching nature. I'm watching all this stuff. I'm watching how you bother one wasp, the whole nest will get you. I'm looking at the togetherness of nature. I'm looking at all of the animals God created. It's got togetherness except us. He said, wait a minute, us? I said, well, yeah, us. I said, we the salt of the earth, but when the salt of the earth lost its savor, it's but good for nothing but to be cast in the sea. Us. And he said, us. I said, yeah. You said black people or whatever, or brown people or whatever you want to call us, but that's what it is. We are created just in God's image and of his likeness, and there's no two kings gonna rule together. I don't care how you put it or how you shake it up. We are all gods within ourselves. We got the creativity, we got everything, but we ain't got no togetherness because God ain't gonna work together with no other God to cloud up while he hit the thunder button or you hit the lightning and I'm gonna strike some. Hey, he said the whole world in his hand, not their hand, his hand. So we are just in God's image and of his likeness. So all the we gonna overcomes and marching, hey, we are not gonna ever be able to work together. Not as far as I can see, and you can say this ugly guy told you that. But anyway, um, watching nature again. Uh,
So you don't think that people will get to a point where the social order is so bad they don't they're not listening to each other. You don't think they'll listen to nature or whatever. I mean, it could be a flood, it could be a meteor hit, it could be a giant.
well,
I mean,
nature.
do
Hey,
you
nature. You look at the waterfalls, Niagara Falls waterfall. Where all that water come from? Where do all that water go? It's still pouring over there billions of gallons per second. All of your life, all of my life, all the forefathers before you life. Where did all that water come from? Where all that water go? See, people, that's nature because that's a natural thing. You tap into the wheel works that the world run on, and then you ain't got no electric bill. You ain't got no bill because the world is rotating at the same rate of speed that it was rotating when God spin it out here. The sun rise and set every evening, but a lot of people don't understand. In the summertime, the sun is further away. You think it's closer because it's hot. No, it's further away. Because the atmosphere creates a magnetic, like a magnifying glass between the sun and the earth. That's why the sun takes so long to come up in the morning and takes so long it don't go out down to about 8 or 9 at night in the summertime. But in the wintertime, the kids go to school in the morning at 5 or 6, and before they get off the bus, it's back dark again because the sun ain't got to go way out there to go around. See, it's short distance, and the sun's so close to the earth then till you go be cold because it's not backed off where the magnifying glass will make that heat intense, like you hold back off the sun and have a spot on your arm from a magnifying glass. It burns. That's hot. That's concentrated heat. Uh, Man, how did I get on that? I'm sorry. What did I do?
no,
Did
I
I
mean,
get on?
no, you answering some questions because it's a whole lot of, we have a lot of people who were into the moon and the universe and stuff like that and
Yeah,
understand.
well, the moon is a big ice reflector that God put there to light up the night skies. It's compressed carbon monoxide. 721 below zero Fahrenheit is what the moon is. It's like the dry ice you see in your popsicle wagon. It's 103 below zero. It'll give you ice burns if you grab that ice, but it's not made with water. It's compressed carbon monoxide. So the sun is a big ball of hot gases. The carbon monoxide from the hot gases, God compressed that and made the ice reflector that you call the moon that's in the sky to light up the night skies. Now, how cool is that? God broke that down into molecule structure to explain it to me so that I could explain it to you and bring light to the truth in the Word of God. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling you the truth. The moon is 721 below zero Fahrenheit, and I don't care who know it or who think that they went somewhere. I'm awful sorry. I don't think they went to that moon that I know about because it's too cold for anybody to bear to stay there. So I can rest my case on that.
Oh man.
I mean,
Oh,
hey, common sense is telling, hey, I ain't trying to discourage anybody, say they want to be an astronaut or whatever they want to do, but they ain't got to that moon yet, not as I know of, because it's 250,000 miles away. Now, how did they get there, you know, when they done throwed off all their rocket bottles here on Earth?
you know how I knew that story was bullshit, Spaceman. I learned it because I was a little kid when it came on, and it got to a point when they were landing on the moon. It was a they was filming it, them landing on the moon, and I said, Mama, how are they filming the moon? Landing. Who's filming it? And she looked at me
Far
with this,
out.
yeah, and she looked at me with this look on her face like, what are you talking about?
Eh,
I was like, who's filming them? How there? I don't get it. And I knew it was fake when I first saw it. You
Hey,
know,
I said the same. I said the same thing when they called us down in the library the same morning that we saw the first stage and the second stage separate for them to both be going to the moon. Now, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they called us down in the library and said, hey, this is the first step for mankind, second step. And I come in and I say, well, wait a minute. How many steps back did the cameraman take to get a shot of this guy coming down the step there? I mean, uh, and I threw in my own little pitch. I said he must have been a nigga because they ain't said nothing about his name. They
right?
just said this guy's first step. Hey, how many steps back did he take to get the camera focused to zoom in and get this guy coming down the ladder? I mean, that's just a joke, but at the same time, it's real because if they throwed off all their rocket bottles here on Earth and the moon is 250,000 miles away, the sound barrier was broke at 2,000 miles an hour back then, as far as I can remember. How in the heck did they get 250,000 miles from here to there in such a short length of maybe 6 hours or 4 hours or whatever it was? How did they get there that quick when, hey, if they go fast enough, a bullet don't go that fast. You shoot a bullet out, a bullet might go a certain amount of miles an hour. A bullet don't go fast enough. Be done got there that just from there to 2 o'clock. What's going on? You know.
So
So I didn't. I didn't.
how do supposedly rational thinking human beings don't get these concepts? I mean, how
Well, see
do
if you
the majority of people miss it?
they miss it because they hypnotized. They stuck on stupid, and they mix emotions with uh I guess ignorance. I guess you call it ignorance. You ignore what the real truth is, so that's ignorance, right?
Right.
Am I saying it right? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You
anyway,
are.
I don't know what we get into that. We're gonna make a lot of people mad. But at the same time, I'm telling you the truth, and it's
Yeah.
up to you. It ain't what you got, it's what you do with what you got. Now you know the truth. Now what you do with it is up to you. If you
Right.
want to believe it or not believe it, it's up to you. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with what it is. I mean, it's just crazy that the world would just take face value of what somebody tell them and go ahead and act on it without doing any research at all. Just go ahead and take a flu shot because they say it's free, or take some free milk or free cheese. I told him, I said, man, if I wanted to kill a rat or mice around my house, I wouldn't make him buy the cheese. I'd give him free cheese and buy the trap. So It's a claptrap woven into all that stuff. You think that they give somebody getting you free. It is not free. Everybody that took a flu shot, they came down with the flu, and they really came down with it. And I know people that's having it so bad now, that they wish they had never took the first flu shot. So now they saying that somebody's finna take a whatever that shot to do something about this virus that they done invented. Hey, better not do it. If you do, hey, you got some explaining to do, cause God gonna say, well, why did you let somebody shoot you up with something that you already know been killing folks?
Right.
Why would you do that?
Spaceman.
But anyway,
Last question. Do you think the masses will, will discover, things that you've discovered? Do you think we'll discover those more, or is mankind doomed from what you
I
see?
think I think the world will perish for the lack of knowledge, and knowledge is the only thing I'm offering. And you can take it, accept it, or you can reject it. I'm not out here trying to, sell you a bunch of smoke and mirrors because I'm not into magic or sorcery of any kind. Uh, but I think the truth is what it is, the truth. And you got to accept the truth as the truth and stop falling for anything. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You know the old saying, God said, ye are the sheep of my fold. Do you know a sheep is the dumbest animal on earth? You can't drive a sheep nowhere. You can drive a car, you can drive elephants, you can drive horses. You can't drive a sheep. You have to lead the sheep to his next patch of grass. He's so dumb, he don't know to follow his nose 10 feet away and go to the next patch of grass. You leave him right here, eat it down to the dirt, and if you stay long enough, he be starving like Marvin, stumbling, hungry, and there's some grass right over there. He should follow his nose. So a sheep have to be led. So God already know you dumb if he call you a sheep. And see, my grandmother put a goat in there. She called a nanny goat, and the sheep will follow a goat. Well, hey, history repeats itself. People today call themselves Christians, loving God. They sheep, but they still following a goat. Now, what excuses you got for that? Stuck on stupidness is all I can say. Ignorance. Ignore the truth and accept they'll believe a lie before they believe the truth every time.
Well, let me tell you what I learned from you today. When you were saying the aluminum foil is a natural resource, when you were saying that graphite is a natural resource, when you were
Yep,
saying that paper that come from those trees are a natural resource,
yep.
and it's like I'm saying, all these natural resources around us, and we ignore them.
We take the
And
natural resources and make the mess out of them. They ain't no mess when it's a tree. It ain't mess then. We take it and make a mess out of it. We take
right,
the aluminum and make what we want to make out of it. But the aluminum is formed in the earth and it's for a purpose. They had gold mines, diamond mines, silver mines, and uranium. All that was in Africa. Gave stewardship over the richest continent in the world to the African people. It saddens me that there's no product that I know of that the African people collectively got together and produced. They could have had a gold car with diamond radio knobs and everything on it, having the stewardship over the gold mine, the diamond mine, the silver mine, the uranium mine. But what did they do? They put gold rings around the women's neck and stretch them out like a giraffe. I mean, if God wanted them to be a giraffe, he'd have made them a giraffe. You know what I'm saying? So that part escapes me. That you see the Simpson walking around with pajamas on, talk about you proud to be a African American. What are you proud of? Hey, where your pride at? What did you do with all that God gave you? Gold mine, diamond mine. Now you got rocks in your jaw cause the colored folk come over there and took it and done something with it. What did you do with it when you had it? Nothing. No, I know people ain't gonna like black people ain't gonna like me, and the colored folks ain't either. So what? I'm
And
Spaceman. Hey,
well, look,
that's
dude,
all that is.
I like you, and I want you to come back next week. Let's listen,
What?
guys. Everybody in the audience, I have to get up to there to where he is. Just doing a lot of stuff right now, and I'm gonna get up there because I want to learn from this cat. And this is the kind of dude we need to have schools after. He needs to be over the technical department in a lot, in at least all of the schools in the southeast. Do you know what we could do with the natural resources down here if we thought we could do it? So, Spaceman, again, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. I know it's Saturday night. I know you got to go and get ready for the club.
No, I don't go to no clubs and none of that foolishness. No, that ain't me.
I know, I'm kidding. I
You ain't
know.
thinking of more jokes besides that one? I mean, that was pretty good. You never see me in no club nowhere.
I hear you, man. Well, listen, man, I just wanted to say thank you. And hey, we're
You're
gonna
so welcome. The
see you
pleasure was all mine, and thank you, because to you, we might can give the technical minded people a platform that they can come and display their technology, so I can see the space people that I know out there that don't even come forth because they don't think they worth coming forth. Now give them an incentive to come forth. Give them a reason to be more technical minded. That's what tech search need to be doing, and I think that that would work. And I know it's gonna work. I mean, the spirit don't lie. The spirit told me to set it up like that, and that's what I'm finna do. I'm gonna try to, and thank God for this guy right here. Hey, he do miracles with this computer stuff, and I can't compete with him on that. But he got to catch up to get to me on the other stuff.
and I'm catching up. So thanks again, homie. Thank you guys for joining us
You're so
tonight.
welcome, man.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Hope you got something out of this. Hope you got something you can pass down to the kiddies. Hope it's something that you could use, make it a part of your life. Even the words this brother spoke, they were that truth we used to hear in them songs, like by the staple singers and everything. So thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next time. Peace.